Something I take pride in is my book collection. You see, I have many books, but it actually started with one. You see, I created a reading corner in my room, and every day I just sit down and I read my book for 1 to 2 chapters, and then I set it down and go on with the rest of my day. You see, consistently reading has sparked a passion in my life, and it's changed me in many ways. And one thing that I've noticed is that reading is the easiest way to become a successful person. You see, you might not buy into this, but let me start out with the science. Further.net says that if you read, it increases your vocabulary as well as your language skills. Later in the article, it also said if you read fictional books or like imaginary books, which aren't real, they can increase your emotional intelligence as well as empathy. Reading can also block out stress as well as helping you focus. Next, you're probably thinking, Bronson, I play video games all day, every day. And let me tell you, although reading and video games seem worlds apart, they're actually just the same in a sense. So, personally, I believe that looking at a screen, which is a phone, a computer, a TV, I just feel like it's really unhealthy for your eyes after a long period of time. And reading is something that is actually really healthy for you. Whether you do it anytime throughout the day, you do it before you wake up, when you wake up, you go to bed, anytime in between. It's just something you could do anytime, and it's always healthy for you, and it's never going to hurt you. When you're playing video games, you feel like that you're actually in the video game. And I believe a lot of my classmates can attest for that because I believe some of them actually play video games. But it feels like you're actually in the video game, and it feels like the world outside you doesn't even matter. Well, you see, I feel the exact same way as in books. Reading a book, it's just I feel like all the stress in my life is just out of my life, and all I'm focusing on is that book. And actually a website, which was entrepreneur.com, they said if you read a book 10 to 15 minutes before you go to work, your focus will carry over from that book into the workplace. So I believe this could benefit you right there when you're going to work, and then you could have a more productive work day. And I just believe that is a perfect way to get started. Next, my next topic is different books allow for different purposes. So books I like to read are inspirational books, mystery books, and books just on personal growth in general. You see, I read these books just because that is what sparks it for me, and it is just one of my passions. I feel like all these books do have a purpose. So inspirational books, if you want to be inspired or you want to become a driven person, then inspirational books is a huge step into personal growth. Mystery books are just something I like to dive into just because I feel like I'm actually in the book and I can feel out those situations. Like Open Education Database, they said that reading about experiences is almost the same as living it. So if you're reading a mystery book, it feels like you're actually the detective. If you're in an action-typed book, then you feel like you're actually doing the action. And in a lot of these books, I've actually felt that, and that is something that has really sparked it for me. Some other books are romance novels, if you like that. There are books on finances and to help you with money and all that sort. And there's also books such as religious books if you want to dive deeper into religion. And the list goes on, and there's so many. And I just want to say, some people are probably sparked by this, and they say, how do I get started? I'm saying right now is the perfect time. Not just because we're in quarantine, but the best time to do anything and take the step forward is at the right moment you're thinking it. You see, if you wait on it and you wait until, I'm going to do it next week, I'm going to do it the week after that, then it's just going to keep adding on, and you're never going to make you're not going to actually make the first step. So start right now. All you have to do is just pick up a book and start reading. And let me remind you, this isn't school. So you don't have to read 5 chapters a day. It's not due next week. You just read as much as you want to read, and then you set it down and pick it back up. The only thing I want to tell you is to be consistent. If you're consistent, then reading and growing that passion is just so much easier. If you pick up a book one day and read 2 chapters, and then leave it alone, and 2 weeks later you pick it back up, you're not gonna follow along as easy, and it's not gonna be as easy to I don't know how to say it, but it's just way better to be consistent. To conclude my speech, I want to start it off with a quote. And entrepreneur.com said, 85% of self-made millionaires read 2 or more books per month. I follow a lot of business and social media growth on Instagram, and that is all I see, is if you want to become successful, you have to read. You have to read. And I can attest for myself that if you read, you're just going to feel more confident in yourself. You're going to be way better in the long run. So let me just end you with this. It may be hard to start, but once you get into it, you'll love it. Start with a chapter or 2, then be consistent. Thank you.